Hello, folks, and welcome to another Star Citizen Addicts Anonymous State of the Game. I'd like to do these every now and then when there's major advances in the game, when things change. I did it a few weeks ago, or 2 weeks ago, when 1.3 hit the PTU, the Player Test Universe. And a lot's gone on since then. Well, first off, let's talk about the Player Test Universe versus the Live Universe. So in Chris Roberts' State of the Game, I guess you can call it his letter from the chairman, he thanked everybody for bringing Star Citizen up to 1 million backers. Now, I don't know how they get that number. I know that it's as accurate as it can be, but I have 2 accounts. Maybe I'm counted twice. I don't know. But still, that's a feat, right? They got up to 1 million people. Very happy about that. But he started to make some wide sweeping changes to the way that the universe is going to be put out there. In the beginning, the universe was only going to be available to people that bought the alpha passes, right? So that was kind of an elitist way of doing it, but it got people involved with the game really early. And the good thing about that was that it sparked interest in the game from the people that were going to be more passionate, or most passionate about it. Well, the game grew, and it started to become an elitist attitude when you started having more people that hadn't backed the game early than were backing the game on a monthly or bi-monthly basis, whatever it would be. So they came up with this plan to separate the PTU from the live universe. And not in a way that's going to keep people away from everything, just in a way that content gets seen by people that were in the alpha test program, had the keys early on. They'll be able to see it first and go into the PTU, and then everybody else is going to be given access to the live server. Now, this is awesome because as the game starts coming out and bigger pieces of it start coming out, it means that we're going to be able to fill that small player universe, the baby PU, right? So we'll have a lot more people inside of Crusader. So when we try to go play, whether it be 2 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast or 7 a.m. on the West Coast, you're going to be able to find people to play. And I'm talking about the U.S., right? You know, people all over the world. And if you're letting them in now, not requiring them to spend the extra $5, which is just a money grab, right? To get into the get access to the universe, I think that's a good deal and will draw a lot more people into it. So that's one of the biggest changes to talk about. And it really is a very good PR one, right? So it really negates the whole CIG is in it only for the money comments that have been coming out of a lot of the naysayers. But it also gives the people that are most passionate about it, want to see everything first, and are really here for that initial, come and help us develop the game, come and tell us what's up with, you know, what works and what doesn't work. It still gives them a forum to do it in a place where things can be broken, where things do need to be fixed, where things are unbalanced. And it gives the people that aren't interested in that a place that is balanced and is moving forward. All right, so second piece is, and we're going to talk about this right here. This is a new area. I think it's a Galleria Mall or something like that. There's a lot of malls in the U.S. called Galleria, so that's probably why they came up with this. All right. Somebody said that fan was blowing down. They're right about the way that stuff is coming up, not going down. But I don't know. That's kind of weird. Anyway, so this is their Galleria Mall. Okay, it's a new space, a new place inside of the universe, the ArcCorp, where you can actually go and check things out. It's a way that they're keeping us involved with the behind the scenes development of the game. So this area isn't fleshed out yet. They have the area done, but really you don't see the shops and the people and the things that are going to be here. All right, so well, this is the back alley to it, obviously, right? This isn't the inside, because there's a whole inside of it that I'm sure is going to be what gets fleshed out. It's pretty cool how they're doing it. So I don't know which way it's going to go. Is it going to be inside? Is it going to be outside, right? But there's also a whole other area that is behind a corrugated metal door, garage door, that I'm wondering what that is. Is that another landing area? Is that another area to go and do things? Is that going to be where our hangars are? I'm not sure. This is a, I'm sorry, I'm walking around this, getting kind of into the look and feel of it. There's just so much haze in this city, in this place. It reminds me of LA in a hot summer. God. Anyway, so this is it. This is what they're doing. They're involving us in this way to get these pieces built and to throw them out in front of us. And I wonder if they're doing it to see if we can get some kind of a, if they can get some kind of opinions from us so they could start working in different directions. To me, all the textures just seem the same. There's nothing different here. If you're wondering what's going on here, I'm trying to get myself through this gate over here, through this corner, so I can get into that area. I mean, they left it like that, so I figured maybe you can get through. I'm sure somebody more diligent than I, more persistent than I, might get through there and show us what was actually back there. All right, 1.3 going live also went through a couple of major issues. Okay, I know a lot of you were failing to connect. A lot of you were disconnecting. A lot of you were crashing over the weekend. That's typical of a brand new release of this size. The size of this release is tremendous. It was another 32 gigabytes, which leads you to believe just how big is the game going to be when it's done. Well, after all the optimization is done and everything, I still think it's going to be somewhere over 100 gigs. You're going to be looking at one of the largest games brought out to date. Now, I remember when I was looking at X-Wing versus TIE Fighter back in the day, having it on 3 CDs made me think, wow, that's a big game. But you could also look at the size of other games that came on 4 and 5 CDs back then. So that was big to us back then. And when you look at them, they didn't even make up 20 gigabytes, right? It didn't even come close to that. You probably were somewhere around 2 or 3 gigabytes for a lot of those games. Today, the average game has grown. Like when I look at World of Warships, it's 16 to 18 gigabytes. When I look at my WoW install, it's somewhere around 30. This is going to be 100. That's going to be a lot of hard drive space. It's going to be a lot of SSDs purchased because files this big really need to be transferred very fast. And it's going to be a lot more 6th generation Intel processors, and hopefully whatever AMD comes out with to compete with them, right? You always want 2 processor companies, otherwise you start getting crap from them. So you want both of them to compete in equal place so you get great processors from both. But we need that DDR4 memory with the much, much, much faster transfer rate for this game eventually. And of course, the graphic cards. I'm on a 970 and I'm running at the highest settings I can, and still you can tell I'm getting about 20 to 30 frames a second. Alright, that's the major issue right there, what we just passed, that buggy with 1.3. If you come into ArcCorp in 1.3, you're going to get run over. And you saw me do it in the last episode. I did it because I just wanted to show you that you can do it. Evidently, I wasn't the one that started it, but evidently buggies in here have made it almost impossible to walk through the streets of ArcCorp when it's busy without getting run down once. And I managed to get through it this time without getting run down. I'm going into each one of the different stores just to take a look at them and see if anything changed. If you were to listen to the commentary I was making as I went through here, I'd be like, nothing changed. Nothing changed. And I was just hoping that something would change. Like they would add animations to things so you can pick things up, so you can push buttons. Now all that's going to come in the Crusader, in the big stations that we have there. But it's not permeating its way into ArcCorp right now. And I guess we want them in 2.0, not here. We don't want them spending all their time making this work when we really want to get into 2.0 and start flying our ships and start having missions and start playing in that baby PU. Oh, here's that area I was talking about behind that corrugated garage door. Or garage, like my roommate says from, well, my best friend says from England. So this is a good area. I'm showing it, and I was probably talking about it as I was giving commentary going through here. I tried to stream this when I was doing it and wound up hitting the record button instead of the stream button within that NVIDIA software. So I have to make sure I do it. I'm looking at that saying, okay, Caterpillar and 890 jump. I'll take an 890 jump, please. And I was making fun that I was going to come in here and buy one. And the guy wouldn't talk. So I'm getting excited. I'm getting a little bit anxious to have something more to do in the game. Dodging buggies is not a game that I want to be part of, and adding life to the universe. They say there's going to be a lot of life inside of Crusader. I can't wait to see that. People that actually move and talk and walk, that'll be great. But having these mannequins over here that don't even interact with you, social module, bah. At least it's gorgeous. That's all I could say. At least it's gorgeous. Last time I came here, that ship had engines. This time, it doesn't. That leads me to believe there is somebody in our corp stealing engines. Anyhow, I think that I've talked enough about our corp, and I've talked enough about what's going on. Over the next coming weeks, they're promising us, see what I mean? Now, let's stand back. Something's going to happen here. Let's see what happens. This guy went trying to get through, and it blew up and took them both out. Look at that. There's one. There's the other one on the ground. It's just nuts. Oop, look at this. Run towards the corner. Otherwise, you would have gotten run over. Oh, boy. Anyway, I want to give away some more hangar flair. I know a lot of you are not subscribers. I got a bunch of it. So let's make this contest very, very simple. I have quite a number of pieces of hangar flair to give away. So I want to be able to, in the next state of the game, read your comments about our corp and what you're looking forward to inside of Crusader, inside of that Star Citizen Alpha 2.0 that will be released in the next 30 to 45 days. All right, guys, to do that, I want you to send me a email to starcitizenaa@gmail.com with ArcCorp in the subject field. Let's make that ArcCorp contest. So, like I said, it's hangar flair. It's nothing big. It's going to be like pieces of a rock. It's going to be pieces of Van Duel armor. It's going to be whatever I have in there. Maybe a 350R model for your model case. It'll be one of those items. So get that over to me, and we will end that here. So with that said, you all be safe out there, and I'll talk to you soon.